Chipotle pork tacos. I'm going to start by salting some 2 to 3 inch chunks of a pork butt roast. This was about a 9.5 pound roast, but I did end up using about half that amount. Once I seared my meat on all sides in batches in my Dutch oven, I removed it, and then I added some sweet onion and sauteed that for a few minutes before adding some minced garlic, some Mexican oregano, some ground cumin, some chipotle chili peppers, and adobo sauce. And then I did end up using a whole 32-ounce container of beef bone broth for this. And then once that was in, I added some freshly squeezed orange juice. The container I used was a half a cup, but I did fill it up past the level. And then I squeezed a little more, so it was probably more like 3/4 of a cup to a cup. And then once that was all in, I added my meat back to the pan. And then I put the lid on and stuck it in the oven at 300 degrees for about 3.5 hours. Once the meat was almost finished cooking, I started to brown some white corn tortillas, and normally I use a griddle for this, but I just didn't feel like dirtying it today. If you have a tortilla warmer, this works really well for keeping those tortillas warm. Here I'm shredding my meat after it's finally done, and then I added that back to the Dutch oven, and this is what it looks like, and I topped those with some shredded red cabbage and queso fresco.